Yesterday, the Trump administration mentioned in their national security advisory, they mentioned Europe in decline, and they also vowed to cultivate resistance to Europe's current trajectory. What do you say to this?
Well, let's focus on the things that we can do together. I mean, what we can take from that security strategy is that we are still, allies with America. We don't always see eye to eye on everything, but it's our internal matters we can handle ourselves. Let's focus on the global challenges that we actually have, which are, economic cursive practices from China that we are both, faced with, which is the threat that comes from malign actors like Russia, like China, like Iran. So we definitely need to focus on what we can do together, and domestic issues. Let them be our domestic issues.
Did that come as a surprise, though, to hear that tone?
Well, we have heard that before, so this is clear, and this is the way the current administration sees the things evolving. I think it's important that we stay on the course, and we have our own strategies in place, and we need to follow them.
And if you could just speak on the Qatar-EU launch negotiations, the strategic partnership, tell us more about this and the objectives.
We see Qatar's growing role in the Middle East as well. I mean, all the international mediation that they're doing when it comes to Sudan, but also Gaza, also Ukrainian children, for example, or the Great Lakes. So we see that we have a lot of things where we can work together. Of course, not only on peace and security matters, but also other matters like trade, economic relations, innovation, technology that we can build up.
Just building on that last question, is that Qatar's also been involved in the hostage negotiations, hostage releases. How do you see the role with the EU playing out as well, continuing?
As I've said, I've really commend Qatar's role in this. It is clear in this world where we have more wars than ever before, like 60 wars and conflicts going around in the world. We need all the mediation we can get, and definitely we have different strengths when it comes to Qatar or when it comes to European Union, and we can work together. What we are good at is building the sustainable peace, because it's not only the peace treaty, but it's actually how to come so that it's also the whole of society approach, that actually the society owns this. We want to move from the atrocities that both committed to the place where this never happens again. So forgetting about the understanding of different past and focusing on a common future.
Euronews ha entrevistado en exclusiva en Doha al exvicepresidente de la Comisión Europea, Margaritis Schinas, quien ha ofrecido su visión sobre los posibles resultados de los renovados esfuerzos de paz en la asediada Ucrania.
Europe has to continue, as it did from day one of the invasion of Russia to Ukraine, continue to seek a positive contribution that would eventually lead to a peaceful settlement. We have done a lot for Ukraine. From day one, we have been funding Ukraine with 2 billion euros per month. So in a way, Ukraine keeps fighting because Europe keeps paying. We have bought armament for Ukraine. We have stood by the country in very difficult diplomatic moments, and we'll continue to do that. We hope that as a result of the ongoing talks and with the increasing involvement of the US government, we will be able soon to come to an agreement. But if this moment comes, this would be only the beginning of the next stage. It will not be the end settlement, it will be the beginning that would eventually lead to a final settlement.
Euronews también se reunió con Luigi Di Maio, enviado especial de la Unión Europea para el Golfo, quien nos explicó cómo la región podría hacer avanzar la competitividad del bloque en un clima geopolítico cada vez más inestable.
I think that the more we will realize that we have to continue to work with our historical allies, but we have to create new partnerships, the more we realize, we accept that the more we implement in facts, not only in words, this new idea of projection, having at mutual level new partners, the more we'll be closer and the more we will face together not only the multilateral political challenges, not only the security challenges, but even the economy, the prosperity for our people. Together, these two markets, the GCC market and the European market, together they represent the 20%, almost the 20% of the global economy, almost the 18% of the global trade. So we have a huge potential, so it means even that we can reach a huge leverage together.
Los dos políticos de la Unión Europea se encontraban en la capital catarí para asistir a la segunda jornada del Foro de Doha, una convención que ha reunido a líderes de todo el mundo para debatir sobre la paz mundial e impulsar el comercio y la cooperación. Tailandia ha lanzado nuevos ataques a lo largo de su frontera con Camboya. Se han registrado decenas de heridos y el Ministerio de Defensa tailandés afirma que más de 35.000 personas han abandonado las zonas próximas a la frontera para alojarse con familiares en otros lugares en busca de refugio. Por su parte, el ministro de Información de Camboya declaró que varios pueblos fronterizos han sido evacuados. Ambas partes se acusan mutuamente de violar el acuerdo de alto el fuego respaldado por Estados Unidos y alcanzado tras el estallido de las hostilidades en julio.
¿Qué impide a Europa acabar con la brecha de género? La igualdad de género ha mejorado en la Unión Europea en los últimos años, reduciéndose en 10,5 puntos desde 2010 y en 7,4 puntos desde 2015. A este ritmo se tardará un mínimo de 50 años en alcanzar la plena igualdad de género en el bloque. Las desigualdades en la toma de decisiones suponen el mayor obstáculo para lograr la igualdad de género, a pesar de que los mayores avances en cualquier ámbito se han producido en la última década. En toda la UE, las puntuaciones en la categoría de poder que mide la igualdad entre hombres y mujeres en los puestos de poder oscilan entre un máximo de 80,4 puntos en Suecia y 12,9 puntos en Hungría. En los parlamentos y gobiernos, en las grandes empresas, las mujeres suelen estar en minoría. Las mujeres tienen dificultades para conseguir financiación en sus campañas y tienen menos influencia en la selección de candidatos que sus homólogos masculinos. Los estereotipos de género, la violencia, desalientan aún más a las mujeres a la hora de acceder a cargos públicos, lo que socava la representación democrática. En la mayoría de los Estados miembros, los hombres tienen más probabilidades que las mujeres de estar de acuerdo con la afirmación de que los hombres en la vida política son más ambiciosos que las mujeres. La mayor brecha de género entre los que están de acuerdo se observa entre los encuestados entre 15 y 24 años.
Did Tusk say that Poland will pay for Germany's World War II crimes? Who should pay reparations for World War II? The debate has reignited after posts circulating on Facebook and X claimed that Poland Prime Minister Donald Tusk agreed to pay for German crimes during talks with Chancellor Friedrich Merz in Berlin. Without proper context, these claims are misleading and distort what was said. During the press conference in early December, Tusk actually urged Germany to provide support to Polish victims of World War II atrocities who are still alive. He added that if Germany failed to act quickly, he would consider using Poland's own resources to compensate the victims. The exchange was part of the long-running reparations debate between Poland and Germany. Poland's previous nationalist government demanded 1.3 trillion euros in reparations for Germany's occupation between 1939 and 1945, which devastated the country. But Berlin insists the issue was settled in 1953 and again in 1990. A claim Warsaw disputes, arguing the original renunciation was made under Soviet pressure. So can Poland actually ask for compensation? The Cube spoke to Louis Lehardy de Beaulieu, professor of international law at Lycée Louvain.
Le traité était fondamentalement parfait et si on voulait entendre cet argument, il y a des tonnes de traités à travers le monde qu'il faudrait remettre en cause parce que le régime d'aujourd'hui n'est plus le régime d'hier.
A report by Polish NGO Res Futura says viral posts online have branded Donald Tusk as a pro-German politician. Speaking to The Cube, former Defense Minister Jan Paris said he believed Poland was deeply divided, with the opposition favoring cooperation with the United States, when in his view, Donald Tusk's government prefers cooperation with Germany.